My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. I would ask you what's good, but I know what's good. It's almost bedtime.
Exactly. A pillow and a blanket.
Yes.
I have this mattress topper on my bed. It's like 3 inches thick. It is so comfortable.
I know. I have one too. And my kids are like, your bed's so comfy. And I say, well, yeah, because I'm mom.
Yeah.
They sleep on cardboard boxes and they got these nice mattresses too, whatever. So real quick, want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-shirt Quilts. If you look behind me, you can see just one example of her lovely work. That's our logo on their pillow. If you want to get something for yourself or maybe an early Christmas gift, go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. And yeah, you won't regret it. They're very comfy. So I need to get my vibrations checked, Fruit Loop, because if you remember on our last episode, Lori said that she didn't have to fly back from Hawaii to Arizona because her vibrations were so high that she used a portal. So I need to see if I can portal to Denver in June and July, because there is a really good lineup of concerts. Bare Naked Ladies in June, July, David Gray, the Gin Blossoms, Goo Goo Dolls. And that is really cool because they're spread apart in July. We could do a whole week of sightseeing. So I need to check my vibrations.
Yeah.
You think they'll let me talk to Chad for a minute?
Yeah, portal in, portal out.
Yeah, so we're going to jump right in. We're actually going to go back to the iCloud documents for this episode. Got a little distracted with the Brian Laundrie stuff today. And the one thing you're going to find is as I go through these documents, we're going to have to jump back in time and cover some things that happened. So we try to give you a little bit of context of where we are. So if you hear something we might have said on a previous episode, we're not repeating ourselves. We're just trying to bring it in so that it makes more sense. So let's get started. There were a lot of nicknames for key players in this case that they found once they got access to all these iCloud accounts. So we're going to go through a couple of those right now. Al 2 was Alex. Melanie.
Wonder who Al 1 was.
Maybe his other personality. I don't know.
Yeah.
Melanie Pulowski used the alias Leilani Lee and she was stored in Alex's phone under Miriam. I would get so confused.
Yeah. How do you remember who they are?
I would be texting the wrong person, the wrong thing. Do it all the time anyway with everybody's real name in my phone. So Melanie 2 and Bishop. Melanie 2 is Chad Daybell. And this number this number was stored on October 28th, which is shortly after Lori and Chad first met. And also, if you read Chad's erotica, he talks about texting and calling Lori frequently after meeting her. So he sort of does this, what I assume to be part fact and obviously part fiction. And so he does talk about he texted her very frequently. The Bishop number shows phone calls and texts between Lori and redacted. And it says a daughter of Chad. So we do know that Lori very early on was texting with at least one of Chad's daughters. And I have a feeling who it is, but I don't want to guess. So what's really weird is right after Chad met Lori, when he got back to Rexburg, he started doing Google searches for Lori, Charles, Alex, and Melanie Pulowski. Charles did have one iCloud account that wasn't very active. Only after he discovered the affair with Lori did that account start working or showing signs of life. At the end of December, this is according to Zulema. At the end of December 2018, January 2019, Lori has lunch with Zulema and Melanie Gibb. And she tells them that Lori tells them that Charles has been taken over by a zombie. We know it was in January, probably. So January 30th was a really big day. That's when Lori withdraws the money, $25,000 in one account, $10,000 in another, and deposits that, leaving Charles high and dry. At 12:39 p.m. on January 30th, Charles sends a text to Lori and says he's coming home tonight. Now, remember, at this point, they're still married. They're still living together. Mm-hmm. And prior to this text message, investigators said they really didn't find any evidence of marital problems on their phone. But this is the day it all starts, from what I can tell. So 12:39 is when he texts. At 4:06 p.m., Lori texts her mom, her sister, Melanie Pulowski, and Alex, and she says, please do not answer the phone if Charles calls you. We are in a big argument, and he's looking for people to be on his side. Thank you. I love you all. What's funny about this is 2 days prior, this was when Chad begins searching for Ned Schneider and body possession.
Yeah. That's suspicious.
That's weird.
Yep. So 4:14 p.m., Charles texts Lori, I'll come home tomorrow. I'll get JJ as you asked and go to Louisiana. I don't want you to destroy me, as you said.
So we kind of assume maybe they talked on the phone.
Yeah. Yep. Well, remember didn't he have recordings on his phone?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Remember, he had recordings on his phone? So Charles calls Gilbert PD saying Lori is acting strange and making threats. He and Lori...
It's late. He said Lori.
He said Lori told him he was someone named Ned Snyder and she was going to destroy him. He was told to follow up with Community Bridges when he got into town. 4:38 p.m., Charles texts Lori, please call me. 4:49 p.m., Lori responds, too late for words, I'm done. At 6, Lori's iCloud reveals searches for Hyatt hotels, and she was at the 4 Point Sheridan.
Yep.
So between 6 and 10 p.m., Charles travels from Phoenix to Dallas. At 8:12 p.m., Chad conducts a Google search, Ned Schneider, Louisiana obituary, 1997. Didn't they try to say this was a friend of Charles's or something?
Yeah, if you remember the last episode, they said that Ned Schneider was a childhood friend of Charles's that had died, but his spirit attached to Charles and learned his behaviors and all that hogwash.
Yep. So Lori takes Charles's truck from the airport. Melanie Gibbs said Alex took Lori to the airport to the truck. She donates boxes of Charles's clothes to Goodwill. And another was hidden in her house behind food storage. When Melanie Gibb asked Lori if she was being extreme, Lori says it was God's will.
Oh, boy.
So at 11:38 p.m., Gilbert PD receives the emergency health petition. Charles tells officers that Lori told him he isn't Charles and she could murder him with her powers. She called him a dark spirit. And that's what we saw in the body cam footage.
Right.
Yep. So January 31st at 7:25 a.m., Charles texts Lori, your phone is active. I want no trouble. Just let me have my truck and clothes and I'll leave. He then tells her he has no money because obviously she took it all. And he also says, please don't go to work today. Your recommend has been suspended.
Yeah.
So I think that's the start of. So I'm assuming he's talking about her temple recommend.
Yeah, and it's just and that's why we kind of have to go back and sometimes repeat things because
Yep.
as we know now, 2 days before this is when Chad is doing his Google search for this name, Ned Schneider. And then if you look at Lori, I mean, we don't really know what time they first started having an argument, but we know at 12:39 he texts Lori he's coming home tonight. And then at 4:06 is when she texts everybody he's trying to get people on his side. I mean, she's already getting it to where Charles isn't talking to any of her family because she knows he's going to say, she's gone crazy. We need to do something. And that's not what Lori wants. This is stuff that makes me realize she wasn't crazy.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. So on that same day, that's when Lori, Melanie Gibb, and Tylee go to the police department because remember, Charles had took her purse.
Right, at JJ's school.
Yep. So February 4th, Charles filed a petition for an order of protection against Lori. It was granted, and the conditions were that she could only communicate through text and only to discuss parenting issues and financial matters. But JJ was not covered under this order.
Yeah. I don't know if you have to go to family court for something like that. It's a little more complicated when it's a parent and a child.
Yeah. Yep. So she was also restricted from coming to the residence on Tomahawk Drive, which was a different residence from where Charles was murdered, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And she was only allowed one deputy with her to collect her belongings.
Right. So on February 15th, Alex texted Lori and said, Ned was at the temple yesterday looking for you. He thinks you were staying with me. Lori did not respond to that message. And this next part makes me scratch my head a bit. So in February, at some point, Lori tells a friend in Hawaii that she and Tylee had a key to Joe Ryan's apartment. And after not hearing from him for a month or so, they went to check on him and found him dead, which is odd because the original story was, I think a neighbor alerted the apartment complex to the foul odor. And I think they saw some flies around the door.
Yeah, wasn't it? They were walking their dog and their dog like it was something.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then they said, so they called maintenance. They went in, found him dead, called police. So I don't know why would she lie about that? And maybe to get sympathy, I don't know. But then you've got Tylee, who, if it wasn't true, obviously knew this wasn't true. It just makes me wonder, why would you say you went in with your daughter and found him dead when we know that's not what happened unless she went before or knew he was, I don't know.
Yeah, if you remember too, Annie Cushing said when Lori talked about Joe's death that she felt the way she said it was she saw him.
Yeah, I mean,
so that lines up with that.
Mm-hmm. But then again, I will always question whether or not she had something to do with his physical death. I mean, we know he died of a broken heart. I mean, like we were talking on the live I did with Law and Crime Friday, Joe picked up everything and moved to Arizona and he died alone in an apartment.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those stupid things that make me say, what? I mean, did they go in and find him? Did she go in and find him? Did she kill him and know he was dead? I don't know.
Yeah.
So February 20th, this is when Charles calls the life insurance company and requests the change of beneficiary. And he wanted a form, and he said he was worried about someone accessing his account. And he let them know that he was going to change the beneficiary to his sister Kay. And then he placed a pin on his passcode. So he got the form. And then on February 26th, he actually called to change the beneficiary. And he couldn't because he couldn't remember the password, but he was worried that someone had accessed his account. So they sent him another form. March 19th through the 21st, 2019, Chad and Lori travel from Idaho Falls to Mesa, Arizona together. We know on March 21st, Lori is back at the 4 Point Sheridan because her iCloud connected to that Wi-Fi. Now, this is typical Lori. It's just so funny, but she registered a Yahoo email address on April 21st using the name Karen Walker. using a slightly different birth date than hers, but the phone number was listed under her phone number. Now, what's funny is one of our listeners told me Karen Walker is a character on Will and Grace.
Oh, wow.
So the first email sent from this account was on April 21st to Chad. It says, "Dear brother Daybell, this is Karen from AVAL." AVAL is a voice of warning. "I contacted you a couple of weeks ago to see if you would be willing to come speak to our youth here in Houston, Texas. You said you probably could if there was a way to cover your expenses." He's a moocher. "Since then, I can't shake the feeling that you need to come share your story, particularly about chasing paradise. We are near the Houston Temple, and this summer our stake is focusing on family history work. My reason for contacting you again is that we have a stake youth conference planned for all day on Saturday, April 27th. The focus is on the temple, and I know you would energize the kids with your stories. We expect about 400 kids to attend, including some parents. I know it is extremely short notice, but is there any chance you could come? A high councilman is currently the main speaker, but he said he would be happy to let you speak instead. My husband and I have been financially blessed, and we would pay for your flight. We also have a room attached to our house where you could stay and not be bothered. Also, my daughter mentioned the young single adults would love to put together a fireside on Sunday evening. I realize your main goal is to sell books, and that wouldn't be possible at these events, but I know the interest in your novels would skyrocket here. I'm sorry it's so late. If possible, please let me know as early as possible in the morning so we can include it in Sunday's announcements. Also, we'd want to get your flights booked. If you're able to do both events, we could fly you in Friday, then depart on Monday. Please let me know if this is possible. We would love it. Karen Walker, a.k.a. Lori Vallow. Doesn't say that, but we know it's her. And this is what I think is very conniving. When she says, I know you can't sell books this weekend, she's already formulating an excuse so that Chad can go home and say, oh, well, I wasn't able to sell books.
They weren't anywhere to sell them. They weren't anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
They were just hooking up.
Yeah. Yep. So Chad responds an hour later. Hello, Karen. Yes. Okay. You know that.
Hello, Karen.
Hello, Karen. Yes, I will be able to come. So let the wards know. I can talk to you later about arranging the flight. Chad. So Chad made the trip. There was a follow-up email on April 30th thanking him for coming to speak, which we know all that was
hogwash.
There were other emails sent. Most were invitations for Chad to listen to a song. Some of them were just can't get enough, let's make love, and I dreamed a dream. May 5th, 2019, screenshot of the malachite stone, which was similar to the rings they had when they married. And this shows you the plans to marry in May.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we will read through this series of text messages between Lori and Zulema, and then we may just wrap it up here. We've had a long day covering this or following the Brian Laundrie stuff down in Florida, and we've already done one little update on that. So this is just going to be a shorter one, but me and Fruit Loop are going to read these together.
Yep. We're reading it together. What are we reading together?
The text between Zulema and Lori.
Oh, we're going to read these together.
We're going to read these together.
Right now?
Right this moment, girl.
Right this moment? Well, I'm just looking at my paper that says stop here.
Yeah, but it's only...
I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to hit 20 minutes.
So, May 29th. I'm glad our listeners love us and they don't care when we...
I know, right? First time listeners going to hear this and say, not for me.
Not for me. We'll get a post.
Yeah.
So, May 29th, Lori to Zulema text at 10:32 a.m. Perfect. I found out there are 4. One is a level for entity. His name is Iplos. The H is silent. That's why we say Iplos.
Iplos.
The other 3 are level 3s. Let's do this. June 1st, Chad searches Google for Iplos twice.
Yep. And so I'm going to read the Lori part, and you're going to be Zulema.
This is like acting.
Yeah, we got to put some feeling into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so June 2nd at 11:54 a.m., Lori texts Zulema, yes, it does. Let's put some fire energy toward Iplos now. He's driving now, and today's the day. I can do it spiritually. Let's go to him and hover over the truck. We will do it. Are you ready?
11:55, Zulema Delori. I'm
Okay,
ready.
Okay, let's not read the times. Let's just do this back and forth like we're talking.
Okay, I got you.
And action.
I'm ready.
Let's go now.
That is powerful. I'm still sending fire.
Yes, it is. I'm blinding him with the light.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm feeling it big time. Raphael is with us.
I feel him.
Oh, did he leave?
I can't see him. I felt like I was chasing him because I saw me running after someone.
Get him.
Oh, I'm chasing him.
You're amazing, lady. I love you.
I'm tired now, LOL.
Me too. I'll keep the light abs fire gong until he's gone. That's literally
Me
what it is.
too. I'm still sending it.
Okay, I listened last night. I prayed over it and surrendered. I'm flying home today to the literal demon. He's still fine as of this morning. I love you for being so diligent and wise.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Get him. Did he leave? Oh my gosh. Blinded by the light.
It's like a Marvel. It's like a Marvel movie.
Oh
They're
my
hovering over.
gosh, dude. This is
Iron
so
Man is hovering over the car, like putting fire on the car.
Anyway, so June the 3rd, the same day that she just texted this, Lori goes back to Houston. If you remember, it was what, to get her finances in order is what she said.
Yep, she's trying to get her finances in order, all right.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so we're going to stop here after that dramatic performance.
Hey, thank you guys for
Thank you.
That was good.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Yes, we'll be here all night. Yeah.
No, I won't. I'm going to be in my bed in about 8 minutes because that's how long it's going to take me to get this up on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to keep this up. I do have a thing. Maybe we can do it earlier than tonight. I have to go to my daughter's school. They're having a movie night. And so my big kids who used to go to the school, all their old teachers are super excited to see them. So we'll get something out for you tomorrow.
Yep.
And we appreciate you guys. Keep an eye on our social media. We're still going to be looking for Brian Laundrie updates tomorrow and see if anything new comes out. But in the meantime, have a good night. We will see you soon.
The holidays start here at Baker's with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. You could do a classic herb-roasted turkey or spice it up and make turkey tacos. Serve up a go-to shrimp cocktail or use Simple Truth wild-caught shrimp for your first Cajun risotto. Make creamy mac and cheese or a spinach artichoke fondue from our selection of Murray's cheese. No matter how you shop, Baker's has all the freshest ingredients to embrace all your holiday traditions. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Now, during the Jeep Black Friday sales event, get $12,500 in lease support on the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland 4xE. $12,500 lease support includes cash allowances and $7,500 federal EV incentive provided by lender as a capitalized cost reduction and is subject to change without notice. Lessees cannot claim federal tax credit on their personal tax return. Please confirm this information to ensure its accuracy and availability. Consult a tax professional for details and eligibility. Not all lessees will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery from dealer stock by 11/30. Jeep is a registered trademark.